Simply Savory by Rachel. I own, we're actually a month and, no, a year and a month in, I'm sorry. I own Simply Savory by Rachel, a complete line of seasoning blends for inspired meals. And the way they were designed, just really quickly, the story, when my husband and I got married as a wedding gift, we left a sample of a seasoning blend on every table as a gift because everyone was asking, about, different meals that I created. And then so we got several requests after that. Sorry, I think I got a little feedback. We got requests about this seasoning. So fast forward all the way to 2019, and Simply Savory by Rachel was born. I'm sorry, I keep getting feedback. Okay, I don't know what happened. Can you hear me though? Okay. And so that's Simply Savory was born, and it's been growing. I'm actually excited. And so today, instead of a slideshow, I decided to be completely transparent with what I need. Funding is always great, but funding without a plan does absolutely nothing. So first, I'm going to start out with some things that I am definitely looking for. The first is affordable accounting or bookkeeping. And so I've gotten contacts from different accountants in the area, and definitely way out of my budget. So as of now, I'm sticking with the QuickBooks. But as school is getting ready to get started back, I'm also a full-time teacher. So I'm very familiar with Mr. Bell. So I just want to make sure that when this starts back, I'm really in a great place to keep the momentum going. I'm definitely so I'm a business major. My undergraduate degree is in business administration, and my master's is in educational leadership. Kind of wish I did some marketing and branding in there. So I'm definitely looking for some help with branding and that wow factor when people open the box. I truly believe that you eat first with your eyes, and I want that wow factor when people open up. So I'm definitely looking for suggestions on branding, and you'll see some of that in a minute. And labeling. So in my transparency, as you can see, my labels are just your typical. When I say transparent, you guys, y'all can see everything, honey. Just typical Avery labels that I'm printing at home, and that's how I started, and it did very well. But just in the last 30 days, almost 1,600 site visits, and my year-to-date sales this year more than doubled just the entire last year. So buying and printing labels at home and hand label. I mean, hand labeling is pretty much my mom and my husband helping put labels on. um, but just I mean, if this is more cost effective, then it is what it is. But I'm sure there's something else out there for someone who has more experience with labels. And I will share one thing on the screen. If I can share my screen, you know what? I don't even know if I can share my screen. I'm not going to worry about it. But it's a spice grinder that I'm currently looking at. So in turn, if I flip my screen around, oh lordy, I guess I should have figured out how to flip my screen on before I started. So you guys are going to see me in it. So this is honestly what I have been using. So here you can see my little magic bullet. Everything is done in small batches. And I also have a coffee grinder, depending on which herb or spice that I'm blending. So definitely looking for a more professional grinder. And so everything is done, like I said, in small batches, and then finished product here where it's labeled, and then with the foil capping machine. Hopefully you saw everything because normally I would have practiced beforehand to make sure I could flip the screen around. But that's where I am right now. I'm very pleased about my journey. I like the organic piece of it. And I believe bootstrapping has its place, but I also believe in working harder. I mean, working smarter, not harder, while you're working hard. And so I know that there are, for instance, Bill just got a great tip about the wrist with the finger sleeve. So if there are any suggestions out there to help, because right now it's kind of a one woman show. So if there's some things I could do to be more efficient, that would be phenomenal. And if you're talking about growth eventually, I really would love like this 250, 300 square foot space, literally with shelves, with all of these varieties of spices, where people can just come in and tantalize their senses and grab things for whether it's just different types of salts and peppers from around the world, different types of different seasoning blends. And I know there are some smaller boutiques like that in different places, like in the outdoor malls. But this is something that I just have a different idea, a different concept in mind. So that's where I am. Branding tips, like the packaging. Speaking of packaging, so my boxes, I have these particular bags. These are just poly mailers. I do have a bubble mailer. I have a bubble mailer, and I think I need to upgrade on the sides because the order sizes are growing, which is phenomenal. And I have a printed box. And so the idea is, okay, so when they open the box and they get their spices out, what can I do for like that wow factor? I mean, I know I could get a whole bunch of crinkly paper in different colors and they open and they have mess all over the house. Um, but just like, so if you were getting the Simply Savory box in the mail, what would really grab your attention? I do include handwritten notes in my packages, but what would be something that would just like, whoa. And if you have an idea about a commercial grinder or blender that you know of locally, or you might have insight on one, I'd definitely like to hear about that. So this is not your traditional pitch. This was my transparent day. I was always taught you have not because you got not. So I will leave it at that and you can open it up for questions. Because you know I'm a talker, Audrey. I'll talk all day. I'm a daughter of a preacher.